I feel good, guys. I know you guys do too. After a couple losses in a row for the Mets, only in the eighth inning, basically, they come back and they win tonight and now have a chance to go for the series victory tomorrow when Mad Max Scherzer on the bump. How's it going, everybody? Thank you all so much for chiming back in for the latest post-game coverage here on WardyNYM, where I share my quick analysis and recap on everything that transpired in the latest game for the team in Queens and answering your questions and reactions after that as well. So to all my people live right now, shout out to all you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. A massive 2-0 win for the New York Mets. Definitely a nice bounce back. And don't get me wrong, this game was not known for its offense by any means, but they got the job done. And that is really what satisfied me the most. A lot of positives break down in this game. Some negatives too, but more positives than not. Very excited to get into it. So again, if you're just chiming in, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button, folks. Help us get a 15K subs and help us get to a couple hundred likes at the end of the stream. For people on replay, I'll be going for between 20 minutes and a half an hour. Then I'll cut things off. But for people live right now, we'll be doing the stream for at minimum an hour. So again, very excited. Before I get into anything at all tonight, I want to know, how is every New York Mets fan feeling at this point in time? Guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat right now regarding the New York Mets and this big 2-0 win over the Philadelphia Phillies. Again, this was a pitching duel between former New York Met and Zach Wheeler up until, yes, WardyNYM did what he did tonight with that massive home run. That was the Mets' winning run for them. And Tylor Megill, Tylor Megill, as you might as well call him. This man has now thrown 10.1 innings this season for the Mets, has given up only 6 hits and 11 strikeouts. Megill was phenomenal once again tonight. So excited to exactly break down his start in the numbers, looking at his advanced numbers through his pitching arsenal. What was working so well? It was that fastball, and that changeup combo was just absolutely deadly. A Phillies team that's supposedly going to be known for their offense this year. Outside of that horrendous collapse in the 8th inning yesterday, the Phillies were not hitting a lick at all prior to that. And today, the Phillies did not get many hits either. Again, I've been really impressed with what the Mets have done pitching-wise so far to start the season. They have the best rotation in baseball based on ERA to start the year, as crazy as that is. Even with Taijuan Walker out for a couple weeks now, thanks to his right shoulder inflammation, he'll be okay. Again, he's just a couple weeks away now because the IL stint, and then he'll need to get ramped up throughout at least one rehab start. But David Pearson stepping up yesterday too. The pitching has just been superb. Yes, the Mets have had their issues with their bullpen the past couple of days, but it held strong today, and I want to give a big tip of the cap, not just to Tylor Megill, but Buck Showalter. Buck managed the bullpen well tonight. We saw Chasen Shreve come in after Tylor Megill gave up, had one runner on there in the 6th inning, only one out. Shreve comes in, gets a job done, and he also then gets a job done after that. So very impressed with the bullpen as a whole, very impressed with the Mets getting timely hitting when they needed to, enough at least. Again, the Mets only have themselves 3 hits tonight, so not fancy at all. Held the Phillies to only 5, and they ended up winning this one again 2-0 tonight. So I know we got a lot of viewers in here, and I love and appreciate you all. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button if you guys are enjoying the post-game stream. But I'll be answering all your comments very soon. Massive shout out to all my members in here right now. Massive shout out to all my normal subscribers and viewers. Let's start off, guys, by talking about how this game transpired, okay? We saw Tylor Megill. What did Megill do again tonight? He was just simply unhittable. I mean, Megill, I was so fascinated with Megill in his first start, guys, because of the fact that we saw him come out and was pumping roughly 100 on the gun. His goal is to hit 100 too. He's even prioritizing it. As long as you don't hurt yourself, that's fine by me. But again, fastball we saw touching 99 with ease tonight. Then also when you look at the actual changeup, that has been that X factor of a pitch for Tylor Megill through his first 2 starts. Changeup, the average velo in 2021 between 84 and 85 miles per hour. My man's averaging 90 miles per hour on the changeup tonight. Hit 92 on the gun for a beautiful strikeout there. I think it was on Harper earlier as well. So Megill has just looked absolutely superb. Again, I know it's only 2 starts in, but man, oh man, does it feel good to see how Tylor Megill did tonight, guys. Look, guys, let's take a look at Megill's arsenal, because I want to start by talking about him. He deserves to get all the recognition in the world. If it isn't for Megill, the Mets may very well not win this game after having not great offense. Again, you had that WardyNYM nice home run there off of Zach Wheeler, which ended Zach Wheeler's day. Wheeler was carving through the Mets outside of a shaky first inning where, of course, he hit a couple Mets, that being Marte and Alonso. Unfortunately, the Mets were not able to execute. He got in a groove doing what Wheeler does best, Was on a pitch count tonight, though, after, having a slow start for the season, of course. And then thanks to Brandon Nimmo getting him out of the game with that beautiful solo shot to right field. Outside of that, and Francisco Lindor driving in Starling Marte after Marte got his first stolen bag as a Met there in the top of the 8th. Mets just simply had no hang today. But again, Tylor Megill, as I love to call him, is what stood out the most to me. Shout out all you guys again in the chat. LFGM, what a big win for the Mets tonight. Very excited to be breaking it down because, again, Megill tonight, what did we see? 59% of his arsenal was through the four-seam fastball. He topped out at 99 miles per hour. The minimum was 95, and the average was 97 on the velo. That is quite literally 2 to 3 ticks up at average from his normal from 2021. Changeup, 30% of his arsenal night, guys. We all can admire how well that changeup was for Tylor Megill, as I love to call him. 30% of his arsenal, topped out at 92.3 miles per hour. The minimum was 88 and the average was 90. Just ridiculous jump for a second straight start for Megill with the velo on that nasty off-speed pitch. And then 11% of his arsenal tonight was the slider, topped out at 88. Minimum was 83, right around 84 actually, and the average was 86, right around where his normal yearly average is. So yeah, just a massive, massive performance from Tylor Megill for second start in as many games for him. Just beautiful stuff. His arsenal, that 1-2 punch. He only threw 3 pitches tonight, but again, that four seam and that changeup, that man, oh man, did that do wonders for the Mets. Then looking at the bullpen, we saw Chasen Shreve absolutely did a beautiful job, especially against both Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. Kyle Schwarber is 0 for 7 to start the series against the Mets. So the Mets killer, not looking like a Mets killer thus far outside of getting himself an RBI, but I believe that was a sac fly yesterday, whatever transpired there. Again, Chasen Shreve looked great tonight. He had the four seam, the splitter, and the slider all working so well for him. Then when you look at the other one, my Wardy's top 5, as you guys see here in the top 5 right here, we had Drew Smith. Drew Smith was an absolute stud tonight. He has now pitched 4 scoreless innings for the Mets out of the bullpen to start this season. Just ridiculous what I'm seeing with him with the four seam, the changeup, and the cutter. Utilizing that so well. Loving the velo on the four seam. And same thing with the changeup and the cutter. It's looking good. And Edwin Sugar Diaz in his first game back off of the I keep saying that list wrong, but you know what I mean. He was away for a couple days after the passing of his grandparent. He was away with his family in Puerto Rico. Comes back, is activated today after Taijuan Walker was put on the 10-day IL, and he comes in and gets 3 strikeouts in the 9th for the Mets. Did give up 1 hit, but again, I'm not putting that. Again, it is what is. JT Realmuto just got the end of the barrel on that one. And then what should have been a game-ending play, unfortunately, wasn't. Francisco Lindor with a beautiful, nice grab there at short, tossed it to McNeil, but unfortunately, Realmuto was running. He already had a jump start and just beat out McNeil, which would have been an out to hopefully end the game at that point. But no less, to end the game, he struck out. Yes, Rhys Hoskins. I'm not a Rhys Hoskins fan. You guys definitely know that. But yeah, this was just great. Edwin Diaz, 3 strikeouts. Hoskins was 1 for 10 in his career, 1 for 10 or 1 for 11 facing off against Diaz, and that held true as he struck him out with the nasty slider to end the game. So before I go any further, folks, again, shout out all you guys here. Mets win 2-0. We're going over what transpired in this one. I'll be going through the lineup shortly and really what stood out the most to me outside of the Mets just having stellar pitching. But I do want to address some donations first, so let's do that. And I don't know where we are in the like count, folks, but help us get to 100+ likes if we haven't already. Help us try to get a 300 at some point here in the stream. That would really be appreciated. And Ferrari Frank, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I appreciate that. Need a hit for Max tomorrow. Let's go 5-2 for the home opener. Yes, fingers crossed Max gets timely hitting from the Mets tomorrow. Tylor only got 3 hits from the Mets, but that ended up still being enough for the Mets to win, thankfully, outside because of the superb pitching that they got. Frank, thank you so much for the donation. I'm so pumped up for Mad Max's start tomorrow. I know you guys are too. That's going to be an electric one. I can't wait to do post-game, hopefully after a series victory for the Mets. But Ed Flood, thank you so much for the donation as well. Was start for our number 1 star, DeGrom. Wait, exactly. Another start. You see the similarities, guys. We all know the story. And again, I'm not saying that Tylor Megill is a Jacob deGrom 2.0, but there's no denying that to start his career, he has been awfully similar in a lot of ways. Statistically, a great breakdown from my guy Jolly Olive. from Chase Station did a video a while ago throughout the winter on Tylor Megill and why we should be excited about him for the season out of what we saw in his small sample size in 2021. That's only true this year. And like Jacob deGrom, Megill is taking a drastic jump kind of out of nowhere early in his career on his velo. Once Jake started to become that Cy Young caliber pitcher, the velo is also picked up with it as well. It's even picked up beyond that. Jake, of course, was pumping the craziest velo of his career last year. Unfortunately dealt with injuries, and that's why he wasn't able to finish out the season. Same thing this year, but point being is that the velo is interesting between the two as well. But great stuff. Again, shout out Tylor Megill. What a phenomenal performance. I mean, yeah, Tylor McGrom, as people like to call him too, which I find funny. But hey, I'm not complaining. Great stuff from Megill thus far early in his career, not just from last season, but also what we've seen now to this latest point. Germ, thank you so much for the kind words. Again, I do apologize, folks, if I miss any comments. Trust me, I'm going to answer all your questions very soon. I just want to go over what transpired in this game and also what were some of the negatives, if at all, because again, the Mets did not hit tonight. So let's acknowledge why exactly did they not hit, because you saw Zach Wheeler pitch 4.2 innings pitched. Then they had Christopher Sanchez, who they acquired not too long ago from the Tampa Bay Rays over the past year. He pitched 2.2 shutout innings. He did give up one run. I'm forgetting about that. That is thanks to, that being in Francisco Lindor. But then Connor Brogdon came in as well. He's the reason why Lindor got that hit. It was charged on Sanchez, though. And Jeurys Familia had a shutout top of the ninth in his first game against the New York Mets. So, again, the Mets still legged out the win. But offensively, I had my concerns with this one, guys. And what stood out the most offensively on a negative note, unfortunately, was the likes of Robinson Cano, Pete Alonso. I mean, the vast majority of this offense did not look good tonight, folks. And I tweeted this out earlier. I didn't let you guys know because I didn't do a postgame for today. But point being is that heading into tonight's game, there were multiple players that have done really well against Zach Wheeler in their career. Even if he's only pitching 4 to 5 innings, it's still warranted to have them in the lineup. And just to make things of note, Dom Smith in 20 play appearances in his career has a 400 average and an 850 OPS against Zach Wheeler. He's 8 for 20 in his career against him. Brandon Nimmo in 24 play appearances, entering tonight's game at a 292 average against Wheeler, and that held true. He was 0 for 2 to start out against Wheeler, but then got the last lap by kicking him out of the game after a nice solo shot to right field. Pete Alonso, 19 play appearances, a 353 average and 833 OPS against Wheeler. Alonso did not look good at the plate at all today, though, not just against Wheeler, but against whatever reliever was going his way. There's one strikeout in particular that just kind of blew my mind. Again, it's early in the season. I get it. Pete's off to a slow start. He's not the only one. But defensively, loved what I saw from him today at first and yesterday, too. Offensively, though, not great. He had a strikeout in particular that stood out. It was 3-0 on the count, and he somehow worked it back after a couple foul tips to then strike out looking on a 94 here, just right down the pipe. So a Mets struck out looking a couple times tonight. Wasn't happy about that. And then also J.D. Davis in 13 play appearances against Wheeler in his career has a 385 average and a 1,154 OPS. Lindor, 13 play appearances, a 333 average and 802 OPS. Again, that was all entering tonight's game. So point being is that out of these numbers, there were all the reasons in the world to justify having one of Dom Smith or J.D. Davis at the DH spot over Robinson Cano, a Cano who had a piss poor day at the plate, 0 for 4. Again, it's not the end of the world. The Mets won, but I want to point out some early things that I did not love from the Mets lineup today, and it really was that DH spot. And if you look at McCann, McNeil, Marte, Escobar, and Cano, all have not strong numbers against Wheeler in their career entering tonight's game, and that held true. Wheeler carved up the Mets pretty well in those 4+ innings that he pitched, and Jeff McNeil in particular only had a 158 average in 21 play appearances entering tonight's game against Wheeler, and he finished the game, McNeil, tonight 0 for 3. So again, it's just a little frustrating. I really would have liked one of Dom or JD in this spot over Cano. Cano had 3 outs tonight in particular that were all based on inside pitches, whether they were fastballs or sliders in. Cano simply could not hit a lick on those pitches inside. He was chasing them. He was either swinging through a strike or was popping up because he simply could not keep up with what they were targeting. Down, up and in, or low and in has definitely been a struggle for Cano early in the season, and that was on full display in today's game. But if we go through the lineup as a whole, let's do exactly that before we go any further, guys. Brandon Nimmo, 1 for 3 today with that awesome home run. The run scored the RBI. Thank you, Brandon. Then Starling Marte was 0 for 3 today, but Marte did get that clutch stolen base after getting on base because of some poor defense by the Phillies in perfect fashion. He then steals second, and for the second time in as many days, Francisco Lindor gets himself an RBI single thanks to a New York Met stealing a base in the 8th inning. Yesterday, it was James McCann stealing the base, and today it was, in fact, Starling Marte. So Marte, the first of hopefully 30 to 40 bags out of him this year. Very excited to see how many stolen bags Marte will have by the season's end for the Mets. Thank you, the right fielder. Then Pete Alonso. Again, 1 for 3. Pete did have a base hit today, but again, I wasn't in love with what I saw from Pete at the plate. Again, he's still slow moving, getting himself acclimated. I'm glad that he got at least 1 base knock, but outside of that, though, I just want to see a little bit more from him, and I hope that he has a good day against Aaron Nola tomorrow, assuming that he's in the lineup. Eduardo Escobar, 0 for 3. Not a great day at the plate. Robinson Cano, we just talked about him, 0 for 4. Mark Canha, 0 for 3. Canha still has an over 1,000 OPS for the soon-to-be NL MVP. But all jokes aside, Canha, it's okay. He's going to drop down. He's going to come back down to reality. But he has been Mr. Clutch thus far for the Mets this season in the short sample size. Jeff McNeil, 0 for 3, as we discussed. And James McCann just did not look good at the plate either. 0 for 3. But thankfully, what we can say, guys, outside of this Mets victory is that even with the offense being as poor as what it was, one, the pitching was as clutch as it was, especially against a Philadelphia Phillies team that was fully expected to really hit bombs left and right this series. Look, the 8th inning, if we just take that away from yesterday, the Phillies haven't done jack offensively this series, okay? They got lucky, and the Mets unfortunately got really unlucky and just got outplayed in that inning in the 8th. But still, yesterday, I should say, but an awesome bounce back win today, folks. And I do see a new member here on the channel, so thank you so much for that. Kish, thank you for the membership. Always appreciate that, my friend. I know you've been a great supporter on the channel for a while now. So yeah, before I start answering questions to everybody, to all my beauties in here, this is where I'm going to cut things off for people on replay. So again, no one in the live stream, but for people on replay, if you want to see the full live stream version, just make sure you have those notifications on after subscribing, of course, so that way you can interact in the chat after each post game throughout the season here in WardyNYM. But the Mets win 2-0, a massive victory. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the content, and let me know in the comments below for the people on replay, how do you feel after this big 2-0 victory for the Mets? And I'll talk to you guys real soon. Let's go Mets, baby.